if it's on Showtime, then it'll be on pay-per-view. And if it's not on Showtime, it'll be on Zone. So if it's on pay-per-view on Showtime, I've no problem going up against that fight. In fact, I think it would be a good statement for the Zone's campaign of saying no to pay-per-view for a fight like that, which I don't mind the fight Wilder Brazil, but it just won't do the pay-per-view nights.
But it'll be music not against, probably not against whatever.
Might be. Takan, yeah, and it'll be a big card with Povetkin. Callum Smith will probably be on that card as well. So I don't mind going up against a small pay-per-view. It's not ideal, but you know we've got a lot of things to schedule now.
Callum would be defending his title.
Yes.
Any opponent thoughts or?
No. I mean we talked about actually doing the Mike Lee fight in Chicago, but he's fighting Caleb Plant. So.
Obviously, is Deontay Wilder
Not only that it's fantastic, I think we've got a brilliant chance of making the Joshua fight. The only way that deal was ever going to get made was doing it this way.
Which way?
The John Skipper way.
Meaning
that there's no relationship between me, Wilder, me, Shelley, me. But I've reached out a dozen times to make offers to just try.
You're making the point that you got to put Skipper on.
Correct. Yeah.
But
He's got to be the one, in my opinion, that brokers the deal, because he's got two people to broker the deal, not just Wilder, Joshua. So he's already proved through the Canelo signing and with me with the Golovkin signing that he's very good at doing that. Yeah, and I think he will get Wilder. I do. You know, I think that he will put the deal together for Wilder to fight Joshua. I can see it.
But there'd be another fight first, obviously.
That's up to. I don't know. I mean, that would be up to Wilder. Yeah, but he doesn't. No, yeah, but I'm sorry. I thought you meant on the zone.
Okay.
You know, so
that would be the second fight.
It could be anything. You know, it could be the first. It could be what? No, it could be Brazil on the zone. Joshua on the zone. It could be Brazil on Showtime. Joshua on the zone. You know. So what I'm saying is that first fight, until they sit down and hash everything out, I don't know whether this is going to come straight on the zone, do the Joshua fight on the zone. There's loads of things that they might want to do, etc.
But it seems like Wilder's next fight, whether it's on the zone or Showtime, is going to be
correct. Definitely.
Do you think that you're overlooking like a 315-pound heavyweight who could upset those fighters?
Yeah, no, I'm not overlooking it. I think it's a tough fight. By the way, Brazil has a great shot against Wilder. He does.
Think so?
Yeah, because he's a big heavyweight that can punch. Watch him in the Zuriganu fight. I mean, like, listen, Joshua battered him, but I think he's improved since then. That is a Garnu fight. He took so much, you know, and Wilder can hurt him, but he's a big guy. And if he stands and starts trading leather, he's got as much chance in his fight as Jarrell Miller has against Joshua. They're like 4 or 5 to 1 shots, right?
Eddie, your main thing though is if you can work, not you, but John Skipper and Wilder can work things out. The schedule would be nuts. You know, I think Wilder versus Brazil in the mandatory, whenever that happens.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua against Jarrell Miller.
Yeah. November, December.
It's on like the other stuff.
Yeah.
You didn't see this coming together quite this way, obviously, right? Like a month ago?
No, but I knew this was the way to do it. But it was just a case of getting in. You know, like, so, but by that, like,
to the fighter who's not uncomfortable.
yeah, basically, but it's like, I think Deontay's comments have led to this chain of events, do you know what I mean? Like, by him coming out and saying, I'm not with Showtime, I'm up for speaking to everybody, you know, I've had offers from ESPN, you know, John knows what he's doing, so he had to, you know, make sure that the approach was there. He spoke to me before and said, what do you think about me? You know, I said, I can go for it, mate. Because I was like thinking, this is the way. Because me and Shelley's not going to get a deal done. And me and Wilder aren't going to get a deal done. So, yeah, but so he's got to be the one to go, right, what do you need? Right? Okay, what do you need? Right, I'll sort that you're done. And right now I've got to do, and then it's done. It could be that, I mean, it could be that quick, but
You've had a lot of deals bigger than
yes,
this.
oh yeah, no, I have full confidence in him to make this fight. And you know, the plan for DAZN unquestionably is, you know, obviously Canelo Jacobs May 4th, Joshua June 1, probably Wilder as well. Golovkin against the winner of Canelo Jacobs, Deontay Wilder against Joshua. You know, I mean, that's a hell of a schedule. All party subscription. None of those fights being extra pay-per-view. And that's their vision, their model. And if they get that, if they land that, so it's game over. But I mean, it puts them in a fantastic position in terms of subscribers.
Hey Eddie, do you think that Wilder's looking to meet with his own solely main objective is to sign the Joshua fight, or is it just for the betterment of
Probably
his career?
curiosity. I believe he wants the Wilder fight. I mean, he can't. Sorry, Josh. He can't not want to be the undisputed champion. He does. But I guess curiosity. You know, the big problem is right now is Showtime can't compete with the money that ESPN and DAZN are paying. And the only way they can do it is with pay-per-view, but they can't even do that because the fights aren't big enough to generate numbers. So someone's got to foot the deficit. So, because the numbers that ESPN and DAZN are paying aren't right either, but they're actually paying them. So when you say to Deontay Wilder, you guys, you know, he's offered you 12 and a half, he's offered you 15, Showtime, what are you offering me? And they'll say, oh, well, we'll do the Brazil fight on pay-per-view. That's not good enough. So I don't even think Showtime are in the mix for, well, they're definitely not in the mix for Wilder Joshua, but I don't think they're in the mix for Wilder. I mean, I saw his comments earlier, and he basically said, I'm off, but I'm not saying it's forever, but we'll see. But I just don't think, and I think it's only a matter of time. I know Bob said it before. At what point is Showtime bosses going to turn around and go, this is ridiculous? Like, you know, I mean, you've got Mikey Garcia now, I don't know what the deal is there, but if that doesn't do significant numbers, yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is,
What is it? It's gonna do less than Wilder, period.
yeah, but where's the money coming
Half
from?
that, yeah.
But where's the money coming from then? You know, those guys, all those PBC guys, it's like Charlotte, you know, I spoke to him the other day. How long can you say, no, I've got this other plan, and there's guys making 3-4 times as much money?
Which Charlie?
You said what,
Yeah,
Jamal?
160, yeah.
Do you think that Wilder coming over to the zone opens the floodgates for, you know, opens the doors for the
I think the floodgates are already open with Canelo and then
Well, I mean, as far
Joshua.
as the PBC fighters, do
Yeah,
you feel like
because
they'll
there's
get more comfortable?
curiosity. But too many of them just get talked out of things. You know, like if you're a free agent and you have the option and the ability to look at other offers, why wouldn't you do it?
All of them do, most of them.
Yeah, but most of them then get talked into taking a third of the money on boxing once a year. You know? This is what I'm saying to Charlotte. Like Charlotte, we've got Golovkin, Canelo, Andrade, and Jacobs, and you'll be paid 3 times as much money that you're making at the moment, and you will fight all those guys. What the fuck are you waiting for?
Can you tell us how that meeting with Jamal went?
That wasn't a meeting, it was just a conversation.
Just a conversation.
Yeah, just he said, I'm speaking to Al.
Did he
And
seem
I asked-
receptive? I mean,
He said he trusts Al to make the right decision for him.
Do
And
you-
I said, Al works for Showtime and Fox. So what decision do you think he's going to make?
Do you think it's in Dillian White's best interest to wait it out and see how this plays out with Deontay Wilder before making a decision?
No, but listen, I spoke. Dillian's boxing on July the 13th in London. He's had a great offer from Top Rank. I think Dillian's idea is to probably be with ESPN in America and Sky in the UK. It doesn't really work that way, but I think, you know, he's told me he's boxing July the 13th. He's committed to Sky as well. O2 Arena. We're working on the opponent now, so
You're doing it or just him?
we're doing it.
So he's not gonna go top rank division likely.
I'm just telling. I mean, I don't. I mean,
He hasn't signed with
no,
them.
he hasn't signed with them. No,
Or you.
but no, but he's told Sky he's boxing on that day. He's told me he's boxing on that day. It'll probably be on ESPN in America, by the way. But
Just because they buy the rights.
yeah, because how we do it on the pay-per-view is the fighter will own the control of the show. So effectively, it'll be an open market as to where those
So your
US
pay-per-views in the UK are open to Matchroom to go on.
first,
to
last
go
on the zone. Yeah, first, last, right. And as you saw with the December show, the zone pretty much passed on
Which show was that?
White Chisora.
Gotcha.
And Showtime will be.
Is Kell Brooks still in negotiations with Jesse Vargas, or that fight's
No,
on the table?
that fight's not happening next. Kell is probably going to box either on the Joshua card on June 1st or the Andrade card on June 15th.
Now, is that because Kel didn't want to fight? Because I know Jesse has said that his part of the
To be
contract.
honest, Kel's probably going to see what happens with MX on April 20th.
Okay.
Because depending on how he does in that fight, that still may be an option.
He's still waiting.
47 and 54, both of them play for Cal, both 147 and 154.
He's open. June 15th. Good.
At Dunkin' Donuts.
At the moment, yeah, but I mean, we've got to talk about Golovkin's day as well.
No bonus. For Andre.
Probably the winner of Seleka Rosadi on Friday.
It's like there. Okay. And, Vargas is fighting on the.
Vargas is fighting Humberto Soto. Humberto Soto.
Who I
He'll just be Rios, yeah.
That's gonna be on the card April 26th.
So it'll be, I mean, I know there's Quig and Simmons and Gearsov, but it'll be a main triple header. Vargas, Soto, Roman against the Henry, and Rumsey by Estrada.
Any stakes in the Vargas or just 10 rounds?
No,
Just
10 round championship, intercontinental.
Got it.
I mean, it'll be a catch weight, probably 150 or 151. And then I quite like the Liam Smith fight for Vargas after that, and I'd like him to fight Munguia.
Can Jesse get down to 47 or are those days over with?
He doesn't want to box at 47 anymore. I mean, he'd rather take this fight at 54, but Soto, I think it's a better fight at 50. I mean, you know, Soto made 147 decently for the Rios fight. So I don't really want him moving too much beyond that.
Now,
So-
we know Deontay's fighting May 18th, and we know.
Oh, do we?
Well, if he's scheduled to fight May.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if that is the
Who's
case,
scheduled?
Deontay Wilder.
Who's scheduled? Oh,
No, he's scheduled to fight
Is he?
May 18th. This is what he's saying in that. He's still looking to fight Brazil May 18th, whether that be on DAZN or Showtime. We know Ugas, right?
Usyk's fighting May
is
18th.
right. If he does come to DAZN, Deontay Wilder, could we see Usyk still fight on the undercard possibly?
no, he won't be an undercard fighter.
No.
Wilder was just on a different day.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a long way to go.
Usyk is clearly a tremendously skilled cruiserweight. I mean, skilled second. So how aggressive are you going to be with him at the heavyweight, and when are you looking to make him?
Judging by what he's saying, very aggressively. I love it. I mean,
Okay.
I love the Povetkin fight, but I think for the first fight heavyweight, I think it's a great fight, but it's very, very, you know, it's advanced, but it's what he wants to go. He wants to have two fights, then fight Joshua. And he will be the WBO mandatory, almost certainly, according to
You
their
can
rules.
call that whenever you want,
Exactly.
basically, right? Yeah.
So I see Joshua fighting Miller, then Wilder, and then the winner, you know, eventually when there's one or two fights, we'll see. But Usyk will be the mandatory for the winner of those fights.
What's the possibility we could see Dylan White fight Luis Ortiz on July?
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting to see what the WBC are going to do. I think WBC, you know, I don't want to talk badly about Maurizio, but they've got a big problem because they've ordered Brazil to fight Dillian White in a final eliminator to become a mandatory. Part of Dillian White's decision process of turning down the Joshua fight was, I know I've got that fight to be the mandatory. Okay? So now, Fury's pulled out, so I understand WBC say, you're now the mandatory, but you can't. They'd just say to Dillian White, sorry mate, you now get nothing. You know, you've been mandated to fight an interim fight to be the mandatory
Your
challenger.
mistake was ordering the interim fight before Wilder Fury was signed.
Yes, but there's plenty of other mistakes, like how is Brazil even mandatory? Right, that's another story.
Is he still or?
Yeah, he is. Well, what happened was, so Brazil was fighting Stavern. Right, this is the whole story. And Stavern was mandatory. So the WBC said, this fight is for the mandatory. Right? Fair enough. Then Stavern pulled out and Molina came in. And then they said, this fight is still for the mandatory, but only for Molina. Sorry, only for Brazil, and Molina can't be mandatory. So he won, stayed at number 4. Meanwhile, Dylan's at number 1, wins the silver title, defends it 3 times, still at number 1, and they call Brazil as a mandatory. But that's old school. The big problem now is they call Brazil White before they call Fury Wilder. Right?
Before it was signed.
Yes. So therefore now, Dillian has been told, you're in a final eliminator for the WBC World Title, the interim championship. I understand that Brazil now gets called as a mandatory to fight Wilder, but you can't now just turn around to Dillian and say, you now get nothing.
Okay.
Well,
They can try.
I think, you know, yeah, they can do, basically within their rules, they can do whatever they want. But I'm sure Maurizio will you know, I'm talking to him about it, and listen, Dillian's majorly pissed off. Because right now, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that was the only reason he turned down the Joshua fight, but he did look at his options and say, well, I've got that final eliminator. If I beat Brazil, I'm mandatory. And now he's being told, sorry, you haven't even got a final. So going back to the Luis Ortiz question, they may order Luis Ortiz against Dillian White as a final eliminator, which is a very, very good fight.
Eddie, with Triple G now officially with DAZN, what are the chances of us seeing Andrade in Triple G?
Not next. I mean, Golovkin's opponent, I think, will be announced in the next sort of week. Andrade will fight. They may fight on the same bill, actually.
Okay.
Eddie.
That's interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, depending. June 15 was originally Andrade's date, but you know, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
With,
Possibly at Providence.
No, I don't think so. Not if it's Triple G. Yeah, no. But again, we were talking earlier with DAZN about do we, you know, put Andrade on the Golovkin bill and at the middleweight world championship as well. And then Andrade will fight probably the Selecki or Rosado winner.
Okay.
And then after that, it all depends, doesn't it? I mean, once Jacobs beats Canelo on May the 4th, maybe Golovkin will box Andrade.
is there a rematch clause in Jacobs and Canelo?
Yes.
With two-way?
No, I wish there was.
Eddie, how much of a role did you play in the Golovkin signing?
I'd like to think a great deal. Some people think nothing. All the meetings. But I'm a partner with DAZN, so even the Canelo deal, I was at the meetings. I knew everything about it. The Golovkin deal, I was a lot closer to than I was to the Canelo deal.
Why, in your opinion, did it take so long?
It was one, because I think Gennady was making a decision on his own, and I think he wanted to get it right. Two, because it was a very not complicated but complex deal. Three, there was a lot of people who wanted him and were making repeatedly improved offers. But it did take a lot longer than expected. I mean, me and John first flew out.
October.
Yeah, October. And we flew to LA and we had our first meeting. And he said, I think he wanted to make a decision in the next couple of weeks. And then it was January. Yeah, January we flew again for another one. And then it was going to be a week, and it was this week. So I expect to be involved in the show in some capacity, working with Triple G Promotions, not promoting the show or not promoting Gennady, but
Some
working
of your
with.
guys gonna be on the card?
Yeah,
They
and
don't
work.
have a stable.
No, they don't have a stable. But I think his plan is to build one.
But in the,
Yeah.
between point A and point B,
Yeah.
you gotta put somebody on your shows.
Yeah.
You have a lot of guys.
For Triple G's first fight, are we looking at strictly a tune-up fight or a top 10 middleweight? or-
That's for him to decide. But knowing him, he's going to want someone credible. He's not going to want an easy fight. I think that Selecki was the guy that he was looking at as well. To be honest, that's that kind of level.
Now, let's say Deontay does sign to DAZN, and he fights Brazil in DAZN, and then he fights, comes to an agreement with Joshua. Pretty sure it'll be 2 fights. Where does that leave Dillian White? Because now he'll be sitting out at least 3 fights.
Yeah, I mean, just
SOL, we say, should go
Got-
to luck.
I think what he's got to do is try and get himself in a mandatory position. Now, there's still another belt, WBA regular. What's happening with that one? Sequendo still fighting.
He's out. That's not
The gold, no, not the gold. But we wouldn't.
The WWE ordered Brian against.
Yeah, against. Yeah, I wouldn't be against Char against White, to be honest with you. In the mean, I was going to say in the interim, but that's probably the wrong.
What about White versus Usyk?
It's a great fight. It's a great fight. You know, Dillian's just got. You know, obviously he turned down the Joshua fight. We all know. You know, he didn't feel it was the right offer, so he's got to plot the next move very carefully. And like I said, he's had a big offer from Top Rank. You know, so but I don't. Dillian's not just solely about the money. You know, although he turned down the money for the AJ fight, I think he wants to know who am I going to fight, and I think a lot of the people that he's been told that he could fight, he's not overly interested in. So he quite likes the Povetkin fight. You know, I think the Ortiz fight's a great fight. They all carry huge amount of risks for a lot less money, than the Joshua offer.
Yeah, Ortiz said that he's willing to sign, any amount of money to fight and one of the contenders. This is what Ortiz said.
Yeah, I spoke to his people yesterday. I think he may end up on his own as well. Or it is.
For May 4th, a fight like Kell Brook versus Adam Ali, is that something realistically?
Yeah, he won't be ready for May 4th, but I mean, I like that fight. We're trying to do John Ryder against Lemieux as well, which will be hopefully for the WBA regular title if Canelo was to vacate, but certainly John Ryder is the mandatory for Callum Smith. So Lemieux Ryder winner would be the mandatory for Callum Smith.
With the signing with Triple G, how does that impact the zone as far as the future and how many fights?
Massive. I mean, he's going to end his career on the zone. So we've been going for 6 months, and they've got Joshua, Canelo, Golovkin, hopefully Wilder, Jacobs, Andre, Hooker, Farmer, Kate Taylor, Usyk. I say Usyk. Yeah, I mean it's again, if they can nail Joshua Wilder by the end of the year, they will be in a fantastic position from a subscriber perspective.
Now, Wilder said that on Monday he's going to meet with John Skipper. And, are you going to be part of that meeting?
No, it would be a bad idea. We won't try and get it done.
Assuming Farmer wins, which I think we all think he will, what's the plan for him? And
I'm going to make Gervonta Davis a fucking massive offer. And I might even do it on air on
You're
Friday.
gonna do what you said? You're gonna make Devontae?
A fucking massive
Oh,
offer.
on the air.
Because I don't believe he's seen them. So I've made 2 offers now to Mayweather Promotions, of which they've publicly said he's not fighting on DAZN. But does he actually know about them? You know what I mean?
are you going to give a number? Like, you gotta,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you on Friday. But he's got to beat John O'Carroll. Yeah, John O'Carroll's my man. I'm rooting for the little Irishman. But yeah, I will make him a public offer. It will be massive.
Every fighter, one fighter.
No, one fight can do one fight.
So one fight, come and fight Farmer.
Yeah.
On his own.
Yeah.
Or like whatever the number is.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's 2 commas.
What do you think is your number?
Who knows? It's funny.
What's going to get his attention?
Is that going to be tampering?
A what?
He's under
Is that going to be
promotion.
tampering?
No, I'm going to make it through Mayweather Promotions. As I always do. I would never approach him
The last
directly.
one you said to me back in Boston in October was $3 million. You come to a one-off.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be more.
I think the 3 million was the farmer fight.
No, the $3 million was a one-off, and you will do the Farmer fight after that.
Okay. Well, we can do whatever he wants to do. Let's do a one farmer fight.
More than 3, obviously.
Yes.
If you gave him 5,
That's a good
kind of
number.
have 5 is a good number.
Yeah.
What do you gotta pay Farmer?
A lot as well. Not 5. But he'll be right. He's made great money.
Hey,
Eddie.
if Billy Joe decides to go back down to weight,
No, too late.
too late, there's no way he could
Too late. I
fight
expect
Google?
him to sign with Top Rank. And Queensbury. We spoke. I think they made a big mistake.
What, could you tell us what happened? Billy Joe Saunders?
Billy Joe Saunders and his team, because he was made a multi-fight offer by us to fight a warm-up fight the mandatory against Andre, and then go on and fight a Canelo Jacobs winner, or have a defence if you want. I mean, massive money. And actually, the number that was sort of spattered around was a bit adventurous, but it was the right number if he boxed Canelo, if he did this. So then they moved up to super middle to fight Shefat Isuti.
For not even the real title.
No, but it all depends. I'm pretty sure they'll convince Ramirez to vacate, but
He's not gonna make it before he fights in April.
no.
He'll
But
make
what
it
happens?
afterwards.
Yeah, but then they'll do it afterwards.
Eddie, so you believe that Mayweather Promotions is keeping information from Gervonta Davis?
I'm not sure. I just don't know whether he's been told the offers.
Okay.
Well, if you tell the Fairfax County Police, maybe they can tell me.
He issued a statement saying it's not true.
No, it's true. It's just that he's gonna go talk to them. The cops never said he was avoiding them. They just couldn't get hold of him. It wasn't like he was running from them.
I thought the WBO mandated the Billy Joe
They
Saunders
did,
to
and he
mention.
declined it. To move up a point to fight Shefat Isuti.
Eddie, random question. Are you planning on holding any Matchroom Boxing USA events in Florida?
Florida?
Yeah.
I'd love to do one in Miami. They tell me it's a terrible market.
It's a horrible.
I know.
Why is that, by the way?
Listen, I'm learning it as I go, and I'm just trying to understand. You know, the thing which you probably could have told me about before we started was America's a big place. So it's not like we do a show in Liverpool or Manchester. We know the people, we know the area, we know how to do it. Here, everywhere's different. So when we go to Philly next week, which we'll have a really good crowd there, but it's a completely different market to LA. So now we're doing a show in LA. The truth is, what do I know about LA?
But then
There's a lot of
also,
traffic, I know that.
but then if you do, but then you also did a show in Kansas, though, of all places, and that's
random.
random. Yeah, so
Now they're doing a UFC show there tonight. And they've done a boxing show there the other week. But yeah, but it's case by case. Obviously, the zone will tell us where we go and we talk to them, and you know, we always plan to do things in different kind of places, and just. But we're learning. You know, it's been a big learning curve.
You haven't done a show in Texas yet?
We will be with
Hooker?
Mo. Yeah.
Is that for sure?
Yeah, that'll be end of June, early July.
Okay.
So
In Dallas?
yeah, Dallas.
You know what venue they're here to do it?
What's the venue, Frank?
Is it here? We're looking at options.
What one are we looking at?
Star, this one.
Star.
That's a great place.
We'll see what happens with the tournament.
Do you feel that Al Haymon, Showtime, they're running out of money now? They see you
I
with
don't,
all the
I
big
don't know how
signings.
Al Heyman's running out of money, but Showtime definitely they've run out of money. But it's not me being like, that's just the truth, isn't it? You got to understand, it's not. If it was Stephen running the actual budget, I think he would. He's so aggressive. I mean, he's out there tonight, like someone like he's searching for DAZN people with problems with streaming and retweeting it. I mean, what the fuck is he doing? Like, what's your point? Like, one, that's actually quite good for us, but two, if you're a show like, surely the bosses are going, what the fuck are you doing? But anyway, back to the point. I think Showtime, the bigger Showtime, will look at it. It is ridiculous, by the way. Boxing has gone mad, and it's all completely fucked up. But we're in it, and we're up for it, and we're right in it. But I think, as HBO, I think HBO actually made a very, very intelligent decision, but a decision before their time. Because I think maybe right now they could have looked at it and gone, fuck this. But they actually saw what was coming and said, do you know what, we don't even want to get
They
involved.
had no fighters.
Yeah, but I think they looked at the money and just thought, we can't compete at the level we want to compete. I don't even think it was about the fighters, I just think it was the money. And I know they didn't have, but I just think, no, but they don't want to. They don't want to. Boxing,
They
you know,
modeled it, to use your
I
vernacular.
don't know if they bottled it, but I just think they made a calculated decision and said, we don't believe boxing is worth this amount of money. Get around.
Speaking of which, Eddie, you have all the middleweight champions. And you said you spoke to Jamal Charlo. Can you tell us the temperature on that? Is he leaning
I just said,
towards-
mate, what are you doing? We've got Canelo, Golovkin, Jacobs, Andre, all on DAZN. What are you waiting for? I think that was my exact words.
You're gonna make Gervonta Davis a one-off deal. Could you make Jamal
We've
Charlo
already
a
done
one-off
it.
deal?
Already done it. Well, actually, there's many deals that we could make, but we've made him offers.
But you work with Al with Jacobs, I mean,
No, we don't.
you don't work with him at all?
He still manages Danny Jacobs, though, right?
Not really?
Danny's
Once a
the
month?
manager, gives Alex the bucks.
There's a lot of fighters in Showtime that seem very loyal to Al Haymon.
Very, very low. He is a genius.
You know, do you know what they're telling you as far as the conversations? You know, why they say?
No, I just think Al is a brilliant operator, and he's brilliant at getting the trust of a fighter.
Now, Katie Taylor, she's fighting next week,
Rose Belante.
and if she takes care of the fight, when can we see her in action again? On a big
Delphine
stage?
Persoon, undisputed fight, June the 1st, Madison Square Garden. But she boxed tonight, Delphine Persoon.
Wow.
Yeah, I know she got on. She boxed Melissa St. Bill. That's what we want to do.
Who's it gonna be against?
Delphine Persoon, she's the ring WBC #1. She'll be the final belt. But Katie's got to win next week, and hopefully that Persoon won tonight.
Thank you, Eddie.
All right?
Appreciate you.
Cheers, all.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.